Let's talk about Warren Buffett. You hear that name and you immediately think genius, right? I mean, the Oracle of Omaha. The guy's a legend. But what if I told you that his crazy success isn't really about having some super brain that the rest of us just don't have? Yeah, it's so easy to just chalk it all up to him being smarter than everybody else. Like he's playing chess while we're all playing checkers. But is that really what's going on? Is that the whole picture? Well, it turns out that's not it. Not at all. The real secret sauce behind his decades of winning isn't some complex formula or a brain that works on a different level. Nope. It's actually something way, way more down to earth. And that's the whole point. His real edge, his secret weapon, is his mindset. It's how he thinks. It's disciplined. It's rational. And you know what the best part is? It's totally learnable. It's something that you, me, anyone can actually adopt. So let's do that. Let's break this thing down into 3 main pillars.
All right, pillar number 1, and honestly, this is probably the single biggest shift you can make in your thinking. You've got to stop acting like a stock trader and start thinking like a business owner. This is where the real deep dive analysis comes in.
So this whole pillar really breaks down into 3 big ideas. First, you have to look at every stock like you're buying the entire company, lock, stock, and barrel. Second, you only invest in stuff you actually truly get. And third, you're constantly asking yourself, is what I'm getting actually worth the price I'm about to pay? And this right here nails the difference. See, most people, they just buy a stock and cross their fingers, hoping the little ticker symbol goes up. They're basically just chasing the price. But Buffett, he's asking a completely different question. He's asking, is this a business I'd be happy to own, like the whole thing, for the next decade or 2? Just reframing it like that, it completely changes the game. It stops being a lottery ticket and starts being a real business decision. Now, this takes some serious discipline. This is his famous circle of competence. And the rule couldn't be simpler. If you don't really get how a company makes its money, what makes it special, and where it's headed long term, you just stay away. That's it. You don't invest. I don't care if it's the hottest tech stock on the planet that everyone is raving about. You stick to what you know. Staying inside that circle is how you avoid making dumb mistakes. And the last piece of this pillar is all about value. This is the big question every value investor has to ask. And listen, it's not about finding junky companies that are super cheap. It's about finding great companies at a fair, reasonable price. Because think about it, even the most amazing company on earth can be a horrible investment if you pay way too much for it. Okay, so let's say you've got the business analyst part down pat. Great, but that's only half the battle. Pillar number 2, this is the one that's arguably even tougher. You have to master your own mind. We're talking about pure emotional discipline. So what does that look like? Well, it means you're always thinking long-term. It means having the patience of a saint to just sit and wait for that perfect opportunity. It means learning to just tune out all the noise, the 24/7 news cycle, the hot takes on social media, and the biggest one, you've got to keep your own feelings from grabbing the steering wheel and wrecking your decisions. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? All those daily, weekly, even monthly ups and downs in the market, that's just noise. It's static. Real, lasting value gets built over years, sometimes decades, as truly great companies just keep growing. So if you can shift your brain from asking, what's the stock going to do this week, to asking, will this business be bigger and better in 10 years, then you're playing a completely different game. You're focused on creating real wealth, not just gambling on price wiggles.
You know, this might be the most underrated superpower in all of investing. Just being patient. Seriously. Most of us feel this constant need to be doing something, to be making moves. But Buffett is famous for his ability to just sit and wait, sometimes for years. He'll wait until that perfect pitch comes right over the plate. See, doing nothing isn't being lazy. It's a very active, very powerful, strategic decision. And that discipline? It also means you have to ignore the noise. The market is just this constant screaming match, right? You've got news, social media, so-called experts making wild predictions, and it's so easy for the crowd to get swept up in all that drama. But Buffett, he just tunes it all out. He knows that the crowd is usually running on emotion and fear, not logic. So he just keeps his head down and sticks to the facts, the fundamentals of the actual businesses he owns. And this is where that emotional control really pays off big time. When the market is in a freefall and everybody else is hitting the panic button, that's when Buffett leans in and gets interested. He stays completely rational. He knows markets crash. It's what they do. And he uses that widespread fear as an opportunity to buy amazing companies when they're on sale. Which brings us to our third and final pillar, managing the downside. Look, This isn't about trying to hit a 10-bagger every time you invest. It's about playing defense. It's about systematically protecting the money you already have, so you can make sure you stay in the game long enough for your winners to win. This whole approach is built on 3 key things. 1. Your number 1 job is to not lose money, period. 2. You have to understand that investing is a game of odds, not crystal balls. It's about probabilities, not certainties. And 3. You have to commit to always be learning. I know, it sounds almost too simple, right? But his rule number 1 is literally don't lose money. And rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. And the point is so critical. Protecting your money is the absolute foundation for growing it. It's way more important to avoid the huge catastrophic mistakes than it is to hit a grand slam. Look, Buffett knows he's not going to be right 100% of the time. Nobody is. Instead, his whole game is about making decisions that have a really high chance of working out. And over time, when you string together a whole bunch of good, smart decisions, that's when the magic of compounding kicks in and you see incredible results. It's all about your batting average, not about being perfect. And this might be the most humbling lesson of them all. After all these decades, after all the billions of dollars, the guy still spends most of his day just reading and learning. Why would he do that? Because he knows the world is always changing. Industries are evolving. And the second you stop learning is the second you start falling behind. For him, getting smarter every day is just non-negotiable. So, okay, let's pull all this together. What does this investor's mindset actually look like when you put it into practice? It's not some magic formula locked in a vault somewhere. It's just a set of really clear, straightforward principles that you can actually use. So here they are, all 9 principles in one neat package. 1. Think like a business owner. 2. Play the long game. 3. Stay in your lane, your circle of competence. 4. Know the value of what you're buying. 5. Be patient. 6. Tune out the noise. 7. Master your emotions. 8. Always manage your risk. And 9. Never, ever stop learning. And really, that's what it all boils down to. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room to do well in investing. You really don't. What you do need is a solid framework for how to think, the discipline to actually stick with that framework, and the patience to just let it do its thing over time. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The principles themselves, they're pretty simple, right? The real challenge isn't just knowing them. It's having the guts to apply them, day in and day out, especially when things get tough and your emotions are screaming at you to do the opposite. The ideas are simple. The real question is, do you have the discipline?